Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna-pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami-niti namine. Namo Vishnu-padaya Krishna-pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami-niti namine. Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gauratata Dhamadaya Nagaragramatarine. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukham karoti vachalam pangulangayate girim, yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam, Paramananda Madhavam, Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Reading from Vaisnava K, verse 2. Jadira pratishtha shukarabhishtha janana ki tatha maya ro vaibhav kanako kamini diva shojamini bhaviya ki kaja nitya sheshab. Translation: such an ambition for a cheap reputation can be compared to the stool of a hog, because such popularity is another extension of the influence of Maya. My dear mind, while making a show of chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra in a solitary place, you are simply meditating day and night about enjoying beautiful women and accumulating more wealth. What spiritual value does your solitary chanting have? On the pretext of performing solitary worship, you are actually entangled in temporary material activities. Jai Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Shri Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Tridandi Goswami, His Holiness Srila Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj Ki Jai. So, here in verse 2, it's, these Vaishnava K verses, it's like when we have a wound, and the wound is fresh. Just imagine your wound is very fresh. You're bleeding profusely. So first, the doctor comes and just, cleans the blood around the wound. He doesn't touch the wound immediately. So he cleans around the wound, and then he takes a cotton bud and he takes some tincture, and then he just, he says it's going to sting. He gives a warning. He says it's going to sting, it's going to hurt, and then he just goes shh. He just puts that cotton with the tincture on our fresh wound, and it burns. As soon as it hits us, it burns. So these Vaishnava K verses are like that. That's how Guru Maharaj explains it. He says that when we come into Krishna consciousness, it's very nice. Yes, we are all materially afflicted with so much of wound. We are having so much wound around us. So the devotees, first they come and they first help in cleaning up the wound around us, They don't directly attack the wound. They clean the blood around the wound. They'll clean all the dirt around the wound very nicely. They will take care. They will nicely, with lots of love, they will handle us with tender care. They handle us like that. And then we are given the essence of Krishna consciousness. And this is the essence. And so it will hurt. You know that when it is said that Jarara Pratishtha Shukarara Vishtha, which means that if we are running after cheap reputation, Pratishtha means name, fame, profit, adoration, distinction. If we are running behind these cheap reputations, then it is compared to the stool of a hog, a swine, shukara, a pig, a hog, a swine. What is the nature? What do they eat? They eat stool. And imagine the stool coming out of the swine itself. What is, for us, we eat food and it comes out as stool. The swine eats stool and it comes out as mahastool. It is more stool, It's more horrible. So that is why it is compared to the stool of a hog and not to any other normal stool. Because to make us understand that how horrible this tendency is when we are looking for pratishtha, when we are looking for name, fame, profit, adoration, distinction, for reputation. It is nothing other than the stool of the hog, of the swine, of the pig. The pig, in fact, it distinguishes. Just like when we are hungry, we'll say, okay, I want, chapati, or I want rasgulla, or I want sandesh, or I want pizza, I want pasta, I want this, I want that. We distinguish, what we want based on our likes. The hog also has its likes. Srila Prabhupada explains very graphically that the pig, when it's going on searching for stool, it goes and sees, this is fresh. This is nice and fresh. I like this better than that one-day-old stool that is there. That is not so nice. This is looking more tasty and more, enticing. So that's how the pig thinks before it is taking its food, which is the stool. So this is something very, very important for us to understand, that how this labh, puja, pratishtha, reputation, this name, fame, profit, adoration, distinction, when we are running behind these kind of cheap, mundane reputation, it is the most horrible thing to run after, to seek after. And then it goes on to say that Kanako Kamini Divasho Jamini, which means that, when we are chanting the holy names, this is, of course, we might be thinking, oh, why are only women told like this? That means this verse is addressing only the men? No, it's not like that. It is the other way around too. When we are chanting Hare Krishna, we should also not be thinking about, handsome men or whatever like that. We should not be doing the same thing. So Kanako Kamini, it basically means being attracted to passionate things. When we are just wanting to keep accumulating more wealth, or when we are just wanting to keep enjoying with the opposite sex, then that is what kind, although we may be pretending that we are chanting Hare Krishna, but in our minds, if all this nonsense is going on, then what is the use of all our chanting? That is what is told here by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. It is very, very heavy. It's a very heavy dose. But again, it is something that we definitely need to hear. In this context, I remember, in my early days of Krishna consciousness, I had one book which was called the Goloka Joke Book. It had very beautiful, instructive stories in the form of a joke, and one of them is towards this context, about how utilizing being in one situation and thinking about the other. There was once the example of one devotee. He was, he joined the New Bhakta program at the temple, and then, the New Bhakta program at the temple is very strict. So any brahmachari, anyone who wants to be brahmachari, if they enroll into this program, they are, having to attend all of the programs at the temple, especially the morning program is mandatory. So the temple commander sees to it that, every devotee who is in this new training program to become a devotee, that they are very strictly attending each and every program. So there was this one time, this Bhakta Fred, who was a new devotee, Bhakta Fred, he joined the temple and he came under this temple management, the temple commander. And he was asked that, you should now every day attend this program. And so he was attending Mangalarti, he was attending everything very nicely. And then one fine day, the temple commander, he saw that Bhakta Fred is not to be seen anywhere in the Bhagavatam class. That during Bhagavatam class, Bhakta Fred is not in the temple room. So immediately the temple commander, he went out into the temple grounds to look for Bhakta Fred. And he said, Bhakta Fred, where are you? Bhakta Fred, where are you? He was shouting. Because he first checked in the brahmachari ashram, he was not there. So he went out into the grounds to look for this Bhakta Fred. Where did he go? So then Bhakta Fred, he found Bhakta Fred. He was sitting, he was actually lying down, not even sitting. He was lying down on a haystack, in front of the Goshala of that temple. They had, the cow feed, the fodder that they feed to the cow. So a lot of hay was stacked on in front of the Goshala. So nicely this Bhakta Fred was lying down on top of this haystack and he was basking in the sun. Nicely he was taking a sun bath. So then this temple commander said, Bhakta Fred, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be in the Bhagavatam class. What are you doing here? So then Bhakta Fred immediately got up and he said, Oh Prabhu, I made a decision, a wise decision. So the commander said, what wise decision you made? You are here in the sun and the Bhagavatam class is going on. He said, my dear Prabhu, I thought that, it is so cold inside the temple room and the sun is so nice and bright today. So I thought that rather than sitting in the temple room and sitting about and thinking about this haystack and, basking in the sun, I thought it would be better that I sit here, bask out in the sun on the haystack and think about the Bhagavatam class, So that's why I'm sitting here, Prabhu. So that should not be our situation, that we are sitting somewhere and thinking of something else. That should not be our situation, especially when it is something like this, that when we are sitting in Bhagavatam class or when we are sitting and doing our japa, that we are thinking and meditating on something else. That is something very, very bad to do. Rather, when we are sitting at home and, if you're thinking about the dham, if you're thinking about, the other things, spiritual related things, then yes, that is a very good thing. We're not saying that, yes, what Bhakta Fred did was the right thing to do, but it's a very instructive thing, that it is very important for us to see that our mind and body is at the same place when we are doing our japa. That it is focused on hearing the sound vibrations of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So otherwise, we are just doing what this verse is saying, that we are just pretending to chant while in our mind we are just thinking of other things. So that is something we definitely need to be very, very careful of. These, in this context actually, I'm so sorry that I'm again bringing up the conversation between Madan Mohan Mohini and Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, but I've been listening to it so much, and the very next day, on Sunday, Guru Maharaj spoke with her, and on Monday I again received a message from Guru Maharaj saying a few things. And then he spoke to me also, and he told me to convey those points to Madan Mohan Mohini. So I went back and I conveyed those messages to her. So these were those messages, because one of the things that she had asked was that how should I not get pride? That she was afraid that she would become very proud when devotees are coming and glorifying her. So one thing that Guru Maharaj said in context of this is that he quoted this particular verse, Jadera Pratishta Shukarera Vishtha, he quoted this verse. And he said that Pratishtha means just reputation or, glories, will be chanted of any devotee in ISKCON, Guru Maharaj said. So Jayapataka Maharaj is very, very clear in what he was saying, and it is a fact. He said that every devotee in ISKCON gets glorification in some way or the other. As soon as you become a devotee, other devotees will glorify you. Oh, you're doing this service so nicely, and they mean it from their hearts. Oh, you give, you do such beautiful dressing of the deities. You dress them so amazingly. You are giving such amazing classes. You cook so nicely. You are bringing up your children so nicely. You are such a, good, caring wife. You are, taking care of your family so nicely. All of this is a fact. But it is made evident, devotees come and glorify, because that's what devotees do. They glorify devotees because they know that if they glorify devotees and tell them, the right things, that it is pleasing to the devotees, they become dear to the devotees, and Krishna also becomes very pleased when his devotees are glorified. So devotees, by nature, they glorify other devotees. So Guru Maharaj explained, Srila Jayapataka Maharaj explained that this pratishtha or, glorification is natural for any devotee in ISKCON to receive. But when a devotee hankers for pratishtha, that becomes the problem. That when we start missing that, oh, why is nobody glorifying me? Oh, why is this happening to me? Oh, why am I only getting criticism? Can't this person see how glorious I am? They fail to recognize my seniority. They fail. They are in Maya. They don't know how great I am. Now, if this becomes the mentality, then that is a problem. Then that is Shukarera Vishtha. Jayapataka Maharaj explained to me. He said that when a devotee is hankering for getting pratishtha, when we are hankering for name, fame, profit, adoration, distinction, that people should come and worship us, they should come and glorify us, when we are hankering for such thing, then that mentality is like the stool of a hog. So that is why these verses I mentioned is like that tincture. It will burn, because it attacks straight on our open wounds. It is a straight attack. But trust me, if we can endure this, our wounds will heal. They will heal. So these are very, very, deep teachings. These are very, very deep impact. It has very deep impact upon our consciousness. So we should be very, very mindful that what am I doing and for what purpose am I doing? Every time we pick up our beads to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, remind ourselves, why am I chanting? I am chanting because I have told my Guru Maharaj, I have promised him that I will chant, and that is why I am chanting, so that my Guru Maharaj will be pleased. And when my Guru Maharaj is pleased, then Krishna will be automatically pleased. So with that purpose in mind, I am chanting. I am chanting to please Guru and Krishna. When we do any kind of service, what is the driving factor for us to do service? Is it so that we get noticed amongst devotees? Is it so that devotees can come and say, oh, how great a service you did? Is it that is our driving factor? Then we have to again reset our settings, We have to reset it. Go back to the factory mode, and delete all these different settings that we have. Start again. Our motivation to render service should be that it is going to be pleasing to Guru and Krishna. And a disciple always thinks, their mood is that, when we sing glorification to Prabhupada every day in the morning, we say, Eve jasa ghushuk tribhuvana, that my dear spiritual master, may your name and fame be increased in all over the three worlds. And may I be a humble instrument in making that happen. So the disciple's mood should always be that may my actions increase the glory and fame of my spiritual master. Let every action of mine be for the glorification of my spiritual master. Let everyone say, oh wow, look at this disciple. They are doing so amazing. Oh, that's because they are actually the disciple of such and such guru. So our guru's name and fame should increase. That is the duty, the primary duty of a disciple. That they live, they breathe for the pleasure of the spiritual master. So with this, I will end here.